Alright, we are live. Hello everyone, I am Laserhawk and welcome to another Rift City stream. I know my audio works, we're gonna hope that everyone else is working, and speaking of everyone else, who would like to introduce themselves first?
I
Wow,
guess
that was
I
delayed.
guess I guess I will.
Sure thing, go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Jack. My name's Jack the Hero. I occasionally come on these streams. Wish I could do it more. I'm currently in college for something very exciting, video games.
Everyone's favorite video games. My brother actually is going into the video game industry, and like 2 to 3 people at my work are also going into video game industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I hope it goes well.
Tweet is live. I've got it working. Yay!
And
Cool.
Can we be heard? Is it working? The audio?
On my screen, it's just loading.
Okay, Jack
Someone
Power
get
says they can hear us. Excellent. Alright, who would like to introduce themselves next?
Not me, because I'm still trying to make sure the stream is working.
Alright, Blue or Lefty?
I guess I'll go.
Why is everyone so hesitant today? It's like I'm asking you to I'm asking you to commit murder. It's not that difficult.
But Daddy,
It's
Whoa,
Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Calm down. Alright, here, Blue. Take us
Anyways,
away without destroying our ears, please.
Sorry. I'm going to start off with a quote from Miss Mina. Annyeong 친구, or hello friends. I'm Blue Prism, and what you'll find on my channel is art and speed paints, and I am a college student as well, going into visual communications.
Alright.
I
Alright, that's
laugh.
Blue.
But
Lefty, are
I'm
you still
gonna
here
laugh.
with us?
I'm Mr. Left Turn. Everyone calls me Lefty because everyone's too lazy to pronounce my name.
That's true.
The 9th season of MLP was fantastic, which is good because the 2019 NASCAR season was a complete dumpster fire, and I hated it.
Sounds like every Rift City stream in
I
general.
feel your
Exactly.
pain, Lefty. I know why you hate the 22. It's because of what they've done to NASCAR, and I completely feel bad for you. They have messed that series up so bad. Oh, if you understood later, I actually understand
Everyone else sits quietly because we don't keep up with racing of any form.
Lefty, if you ever get interested, get interested in Formula E because it's actually getting really good.
My parents and I are actually going to give IndyCar a try next year.
Oh boy.
Ooh, representing my state.
Alrighty then. Okay, so I think everyone has been introduced, and today, of course, we are talking
Wait,
about...
wait, you forgot Jack.
What? No,
No,
Jack
no.
introduced himself. He's game design.
Jack
Well,
introduced
actually,
himself
the only
first.
one that hasn't introduced himself is you, Patrick, but we already know
Oh.
who you are. But feel free to go ahead anyway.
I was gonna say one thing. Isn't
What?
this my idea? We're talking about something that I created.
Oh, what?
Patrick,
Is
I
Patrick
started.
tooting his own horn again because because he was being productive? Wow, Patrick, you're so self-absorbed. Oh boy. Okay,
Then you have me who
everyone's
is drawing
nice
while we
and
stream.
quiet and timid. Excellent. This is how we do our streams. Okay, so we're talking about MLP and what it means to you. So this is going to be a very, I'm going to assume it's going to be a long stream, and it's going to be very disoriented, like most streams. But who would like to go first?
Not me.
The excitement is overwhelming.
I mean, I might as well go first. It
Yeah,
seems-
I usually go last just because I'm stuck here till the end anyway.
As I read, MLP is one of those things. It's just weird. It's a show that shouldn't not been good. It should have not been a show I loved. It should have not been interesting, and it should have not been anything.
And it should
Yeah,
have
but
not been
somehow it's all
monetizable, according to YouTube.
Yes. But Jesus, lies, I'm so satisfied I got here now. Let's start from this. I think if without MLP, I probably wouldn't even be alive. And I
Oof.
think
That's
I
sad.
would've
That's a
fucking-
very dark turn to start this stream off. You maybe
But it's
tone it down a
true, I
bit.
would have probably committed suicide because
Wow,
Before
this
MLP,
is
I was
really
going
dark. I didn't need to know this.
I was going through laps of depression, and I know that seems really weird for someone who's probably the most considered the most optimistic, the most happy person in the fandom and in probably real life. When you meet me, you would never think of that.
Well,
Or me being
being that your persona is so like even when you're not even when you're not doing great, you still have this very like chipper and over the top excitement.
yeah. And I don't think people would consider me the kind of person to be depressed. That with family who I won't go too much into it for that, but all you need to know, I was very bullied and I had nowhere to run from people who would physically and mentally attack me, losing my college and just losing everything with, and just losing friends and just college hating on me for no real reason, just having nowhere to go, and people going, and then I just end up in a Poundland shop where they don't even pay me, or 42 hours of work for 3 months, which I'm lucky I left.
Mm-hmm.
And I still didn't even get. I still haven't been paid that, even though I lawsuited them and I haven't got anything out of it.
Mm.
Yay. Because, comedy.
Have you heard about John Oliver's first job?
Isn't it like he didn't get paid either? or
No, no,
something?
no, no. He worked for a kitchen supplier. Later, he found out that it was a stolen kitchen supplier. So they would steal goods, they would steal kitchenware from people and then sell it.
Oh, that's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, and that was John Oliver, who's now, like the host of a pretty popular TV show. And he was telling this other guy, on another talk show. And he was just like, and my boss was like, if they call, I'm not here. Even when I'm here, I'm not here.
In fact, but yeah, MLP comes around and it just changes my life. It just brings this happiness that I now symbolize myself with. There's a reason why Pinkie Pie is my favourite character, because she's the one who reminded me of my old self. Because when I was very young, I used to be this chirpy person, and I kind of forgot about it and kind of was digging into the ground about not being that. Or everyone hated that idea that you couldn't, if you're a bloke, you can't be that in this country. You have to be depressed, you have to be this, and you have to be that. And I see this pink pony, and I just smile, and that just changed my life forever. It sounds sappy, but it's true. Because I remember listening to Forest Rain, Isn't It Great to Be Different, and just crying, happily crying because I finally found something that I just made me enjoy, made me feel, have emotions again. Ever since then, I just strive to be a creator, and it was never an easy thing. I fucked up so many damn times.
And there goes our
getting to
F-bomb.
this point. Well, I was gonna swear at some point, so and it's true though. I was an idiot when I started. I mean that. I was a complete and utter moron. I started with an awful tablet filming my flipping ceiling. This is genuinely my first video.
Yeah, and then
Was me
you went
talking
from an
about-
awful tablet to a terrible camera.
My first video was me talking about guns. And that
Guns?
was guns.
Wait, oh, gunge. What's gunge?
Like, Double Dare and all the kid shows.
No, I don't know what that is.
I know what you're talking about. So Gunge was was pretty much European Double Dare.
No,
Huh.
Gunge was like, I talked about not Gunge wasn't a UK show. It's the thing covered. Gunge or like any sloppy metal kind of thing that would get chucked on the contestants, like in Double Dare. Because in our
So
country,
it was a game show.
no,
It was
no,
a messy game show.
No. There was game shows. No, the thing is, I talked about Gunge because game shows in our country stopped stuff like messy stuff, and we didn't have our kid shows were basically really boring quizzes for a while. I mean, extremely boring quizzes. Like, do you know what the capital of this is? And it's like, that was our British kids quiz show. There'd be the
Dude, they
guns,
were quizzing you because they needed you to take over the world. That's why you need to know your geography. It was secretly to brainwash the people of Britain to conquer the world. We're still working at it.
Yeah, but I don't mind the quiz segments in game shows if they're entertaining, but our shows were so dull for a short time where there would just be no games, there would just be these, it would just be so blankly done. It almost felt like adult entertainment, but even more depressing.
Huh.
What? Lefty dropped.
What? He died?
Yeah.
He expired?
Well,
No.
his connection did.
He'll come back. I've still got a while. I think everyone's gonna be here for a
That
while.
I don't want to be mean. I hope he didn't leave because he was already tired of listening to Patrick. I feel like that'd be a little harsh.
Wait, I hope not. I think
Yeah.
Lefty doesn't even. But getting back on topic, yeah.
Mhm.
And then I just strive to be always a better creator. The MLP fandom at the time, and being inspired by the creators at the time, like Digibrony and Dr. Wolf and Silverquill, making my own terrible reviews with that. I actually, before I used my Cleo scene, and I know this is not joking, I used Pony Creator, and I know
Yeah.
that's
I
not-
remember because that's where your design came from, and you didn't save. Because I tried to draw your OC before, and you didn't have your original save of Pony Creator for me to draw from it. You had to scrounge up or like recreate it or something.
Yeah.
I remember that. That
Yeah,
was
this is
funny.
probably the one I'm using now is the the 9th iteration of my OC now. It has gone through quite a lot of iterations
Mhm.
throughout its time. It's been made of clay. It's made of cardboard at one point. It's been changed on Pony Creator a few times. It's been digitally created, like the one here, twice actually. This is the one by.
Yeah, there was one. There were some pretty great vectors by who was it?
Oh, there's my door.
Freedom Flash.
Freedom Flash. And I remember because whenever we try to do a video with you, I always like remember. Or someone mentions like, why didn't Patrick keep his vectors by Freedom Flash? And you just can't get in contact with them anymore. And it's just so funny that he
Because he
would.
didn't give me them. He didn't
Yeah.
give me them. It's the truth. I just didn't ask for.
Yeah. So he went through all this trouble to make you vectors just for a review, and then you like they were never used again.
Oh, that review is so special to me. It is still one of my favorite videos that I actually still come back to rewatch. And I don't. Is that bad to watch your own videos and be like?
In my defense, one of my favorite videos that I've made is my review of Trans Gamer because I loved my editing in that. I'm like stroking my own, I'm tooting my own horn here, but like I really loved the jokes that I edited for that video, which is why I always feel sad when I see how little views it got, probably just because it's on Trans Gamer's channel instead of mine, but like because it's his video, but like I want more people to see it.
How the comedy and the editing just came out so damn well, and I mainly blame Freedom Brush because he was way more talented than he ever got the credit for, and I mean some of the jokes are mine. I will take the credit for the.
Yeah, I buy. Yeah, I know that you're definitely the person that likes to. You do a lot of writing, and I feel like that's your better field. The editing, though, I'm guessing was a fair bit Freedom Flash. The clay model joke was hilarious, where the hand comes down and picks you up. That was great.
That was my idea, but he got that idea and he just did it all. He just.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Though I love that one.
Sorry about that. There was a knock on my door. I had to answer it.
Oh, sure thing. You're fine.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be here a while. I think everyone's gonna be here.
Patrick's on his soapbox right now, and he's just having a gay old time.
We should be all standing on soapboxes in this video.
Let me see if the internet will let me scrounge one up.
I'll find one real quick for you, Laser.
Yeah, thanks. There we go.
But yeah,
I think I should be standing on a toolbox, technically.
Toolbox.
um,
Come on, guys,
you know
make my
what?
life easy. Okay.
one of the things I am the most proudest of, and I know this seems sappy, and I know this may seem forced, it is you guys. It is really this Rift City. I joined the Rift City as an up and comer, as someone who potentially, I potentially was at the time, as a decent, potentially someone who could do meet decent content sometimes. Sometimes being the optimal word.
Yeah, I
But
feel.
no, and being that and the highs and lows of the Rift City and the Pony fandom kind of blend into one, because this group has gone from the worst to the best, and it's been an
We've
absolute
had
ride.
some ups and downs for sure.
And being mod and then having the opportunities I've been given, I really do consider myself really lucky to be able to not just interview some amazing people like yourself, like Calder Rose, like Mira Marv, Digi. I will never take those interviews back, because I love them, because I just think that's it's an amazing thing that I've been able to do that. It's just, I've gone from being this depressed nobody to this someone who has all these friends and all these people who give a damn, and all these people who actually look up to me and actually go to me and go, "Hey, Patrick, I need your help," or "Patrick, can you ask me? I need a bit of advice," or "Patrick," or I'm going to them going, "Hey, can you do some work?" And they'll be like, "Yes, Patrick, of course," or "No, Patrick, you complete moron." And I'm, and I know, it seems a bit weird, but I'm so happy to be the man Laser relies on the most, because I am the hardest worker. He's probably
Oh yeah, here we go,
I'm
stroking
too
the.
much of a hard worker.
The issue with, yeah, and I feel like we're mention. It gets kind of funny how repetitive we sort of mention this, because Patrick does probably the most work behind the scenes. I'm just here as like the doorman, and then I like throw everyone at my secretary that is Patrick.
But you know, I will never take this group back, and I just wish I know. This the thing is, MLP is like a roller coaster. It's been amazing at points, and it's been shit at points. It's true, but that's life. I think that is literally MLP and life are one in the same, and that's why I describe MLP as like my life, because there have been the good things, there have been the bad things, but that's why I love it. The bad things make the great things even better. The bad things aren't so bad because I'm able to look back at them and laugh. There are so many bad episodes of MLP, but you know what? I don't give a damn, because you know what? I can look at them and laugh. Sometimes we in life forget to laugh a little. And it's why I do my comedy. It's why I love making funny videos. It's laughing at yourself. Being able to take a joke. Being able to mock people, but in the right way. And being able to mock the things you love makes you better than sometimes the people who are forced to mock others, who can only mock others. Because I can mock myself much as I can mock the next person along. Everyone knows I do deprivation humour, but there's a point to it. Because I know I'm not the best, but I know I can mock about it, and I can make a joke about it. But I put myself, will never put myself too much on a pedestal, because I'm also mocking the others around me. I'm disevering myself so I can dissever others, but not in a way that's mean or hateful or disgraceful. I do it because I love those people and I respect them as creators, as friends, as just general people in real life. And the thing is, MLP has been a building blocks of how I've improved my life and how I've just become a better creator, person, friend, moderator,
Secretary.
everything. It's just, it's so weird. What MLP means to me is everything. My life. It is
Well, dang.
It's a roller
Yeah.
coaster of emotions. And
I'm gonna be
I
real
don't think-
sad when the Twilight gets discontinued. That's unfortunate.
oh, yeah, that is genuinely true.
Yeah, but man, that was yeah. There were some highs and lows with that one. There was some really deep stuff. I feel like I just listened to someone like talk about how a TV show literally changed their life, and I feel like to everyone to a degree it really did, because it's such an odd thing. It makes such a unique impact on people, because it's never, most people going into MLP don't really expect it to affect them the way it does. And there are some people that watch it and like, nope, it's not for me, and move on. But for the people that do watch it, it really is kind of revolutionary in how much this show could possibly mean to people.
And there's one, and I will finally end because I'm almost.
Okay.
You know what? Generation 4 point whatever it is at this point is coming, and I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared. I've seen what it looks like. But you know what? Whether it's bad, whether it's good, whether it's mediocre, I'm forever a brony. Thing is, we've had previous generations before, and we're gonna have more. You know what? What we have, and what we've made, what we've done, it's never gonna change. Because, no, that's wrong. What we've done and what we have was amazing. But it needs to change. And it needs to evolve. And sometimes you move on, sometimes you evolve with it, and sometimes you gain those experiences and use them to become so much better. Whatever roads we take with our friends, with new friends we may do, or the new colleagues we will make, and whatever comes, Pony will be there when we come back to it. Will forever be there when we need to laugh, be enjoyed by it, to go, oh, it was terrible at it, to sing at it, just to cry at it.
Well, dang.
Remember,
Yeah.
we
It's still
are-
going. The man never stops.
because My Little Pony, friendship is the Rift City, and friendship is magic. Thank you.
Nice.
All right,
Yeah.
great speech, Mr. President. It was a wonderful speech. I
Yeah.
really am impressed,
I didn't vote for
starstruck.
I'm sorry it went so long, but I think everyone's speech is going to go really long.
I don't
Give
think
me one-
anyone is going to, like, because you already took, like, the Trump card, which is, I love everyone in the Rift City because it's the best thing ever. Like, that's the biggest, like, connection for all of us on what MLP has done, and it's brought us all together in some
I-
weird, crazy fashion.
I felt like I needed to talk to her in a level as a mod, and I think others will talk to it in the level as a more as a creator in a different kind of sense.
Mhm.
And I think whoever comes up next, and the closet is in the chat, so we'll talk about what MLP means to them in their little way. Who wants to stand on this soapbox? It's a really
Yeah.
nice soapbox, actually. It's made of wood.
I need Blue made us a new soapbox. I just need to get it, okay?
I hope there's a
that's a
toolbox.
soapbox, and I don't get to use it.
Yes, you don't get to use this soapbox. You already had your own soapbox. And you can thank Google for it.
I'm taking the soapbox home, and I'm gonna use it as a. It has a hole, so don't
I didn't
worry about
even
it.
quite hear that, but because your audio cut out, thank God, so I'm not even gonna, like, investigate. Literally, what I heard was, I'm gonna take the soapbox home and use it as a... Look, because it has a hole. And that was all I heard. So I'm just gonna move
Oh,
on.
that's even funnier than what I actually said. Don't worry.
Oh boy. Ooh, shush, computer. Okay.
Be careful of splinters, Rowberry.
Oh god. Well, yeah, this is a dark path that we don't need to go down.
As me, I'm not gonna stand on a soapbox. I'll stand on a rando set backpack.
Oh, a what backpack?
A rando set.
Backpack, backpack, I
Okay.
backpack.
This is the
Translation. The translation for it is a Japanese elementary school bag.
shoot. How do
Why don't you move me to where the others are so we can listen to Blue?
Dude, I'm trying my best to. The thing, no, but the issue is I can't like, I can't like rotate any of the images because OBS is stupid.
I'm not gonna be on the soapbox yet. I don't want to be on the soapbox yet.
Fine, you're gonna tap dance on it because you're mad, and then you're gonna go off to the side. Who wants to stand on this high quality soapbox? No takers, excellent. And then Lefty's just gonna be permanently.
Starlight Glimmer might want to. If you ask Starlight Glimmer, she's here.
I'm not on the soapbox. I don't want to be on the soapbox.
No. There's lag, Blue. You have to do. There's lag. You're not on the soapbox on my screen.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Who? But Lefty is going to be permanently stuck to that toolbox now. It's part of his character.
It's been a part of my character forever.
Oh boy. Okay, so who would like to go next? Any takers? That or I can go just to keep things moving forward. Sounds like I'm gonna go due to the silence. Alrighty then. So wait, no, I just want to confirm. So I'm not talking over anyone. Your audio is everyone's still there, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Because it keeps going silent. I'm always afraid that the audio has died. Alright, so I guess I'll just go then. So let me... Here we go. Let me just put this in right, and then... shoot, I need to adjust the layers. There we go. Perfect. You guys aren't gonna see it till later, but trust me, it's amazing. There we go.
Alright.
Okay, so now
Of
that
course, we have the Starlight Glimmer in the corner.
Yes, Starlight Glimmer, of course. It's default. We always put it in the stream now because it's Zaldin's favorite character, and because he can't be here with us today, clearly we need a representation of him, so we have Starlight Glimmer. Alright, so, for me, what MLP means to me essentially was, well, I guess I'll do what Patrick did and start with how I got into it, sort of, and... Not to be too repetitive, I don't think I suffered from as bad of a depression as Patrick, at least not at that point in time when first getting into the show. But I was in high school and it was rather bland and boring, and I had a small group of friends, and that's all I really needed. And then one of them was watching MLP one day during lunch. I'm just like, what's that? And he said, My Little Pony. I'm like, well, what's that? He goes, oh, it's a show. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then he got my twin brother into watching it, and then about a week later, I started watching it. And this was about when it was like, when I binged every episode of MLP in probably the span of 3 days, and it was between I started at, episode 1, and then I ended at season 6, episode 3, because that's when because the season 6 was the current season. So I watched, like 100 so episodes in the span of 3 days, and between seasons 3, 4, and 5, I watched each movie. In fact, after watching the first movie, I wanted to get through season 4 so quick, because I'm like, wow, they made movies. I'm gonna look at these because they look, interesting. And though the first one was a letdown, I heard the second one was great, so I got through season 4 and that was really enjoyable. And then the second film was great. Like, when I got into MLP, I straight liked Equestria Girls, which is not something that most bronies enjoyed. And, like, I like Starlight Glimmer from the get-go because she was a new character, and when I got into the show, it was like the same time, so I just kind of connected with Starlight's character more. So I had a very funny experience with MLP because when I saw the 100th episode, I okay, yeah, I know about some of these characters. I've seen some good memes about these characters. So like I only understood like maybe just a quarter of the references because I didn't like fully interact with the fandom until after completing the 5 seasons and 3 episodes, 5 seasons, the 3 movies, and 3 episodes into season 6 before I really got into the online fandom and whatnot, like making an OC. I went to the greatest platform, Google Plus. Rip my boy. But so yeah, I feel like I had a very funny and weird experience with MLP because it was I just watched a ton of it really quick, and then I didn't understand like half of the references or anything cool or clever that the fans came up over the years. I just watched the show as a show and enjoyed it, and then when I joined started interacting with the fandom, I really understood episode 100 and all of the characters and why Derpy was hardly ever on screen. So I feel like it was just overall just getting into MLP was really interesting and unique, and it was fun. And then I watched a bunch of reviews from Josh Scorcher specifically. I loved his old MLP reviews. Those were some great stuff, high quality memes. And then so I got yeah, his old I miss Josh Scorcher's old reviews. They were great.
Kaboom!
Yeah, and it's just like there were some reviews that I wanted to go back and fight him on, but like I really enjoyed, like, of all the videos, his review with about the Buffalo episode with Bowspawn, Lily Pete. Like, despite, because I didn't know who Bowspawn was until later, so I didn't know about all the garbage and whatnot, but I still enjoy that review to this day, because even though I do not at all like Bowspawn, like, or Lily Pete, etc., I still loved their review, and I still really like, my favorite quote was just like, "Are we okay? So you have a plot of land. You can either build a farm for food or a church. I think Jesus would understand here, guys." Especially because a lot, it's like historically, a lot of you can still have your your Sunday mass in a barn, as a lot of people did. But I just really enjoyed that video, and I agreed with a lot of the points of the overall video, and that was what really got me into sort of trying to review that. Then I never did. I only did like a few reviews, but that was one of my favorite things about the Brony community when getting into it, and it was such a nice experience. Everything was so upbeat and colorful, and then 2 years later it got sad as I learned about how every fandom is secretly terrible. But like, up front, it was the first fandom I ever like fully got involved in, like, online, and did stuff, or like did art and whatnot. And it's honestly heavily impacted me wanting to be a YouTuber, because I used to just do a gaming channel and it was mediocre at best. And then I made my personal channel, and I did 2 MLP and theory videos, and everyone hates my first video, Alicorns Don't Live Forever. God, I still get comments to this day about people complaining about it, and it's been like 3 to 4 years, and people still complain about it.
Wait a second. Alicorns don't live forever? What?
Yeah. The premise of the video was talking about how alicorns don't live forever, because the only alicorns that we know about are Luna, Celestia, Cadence, and Twilight, and then later Flurry Heart. And I can't remember if Flurry Heart was in existence when I made that video. I think they were. But like,
well, if you caught up to the 3rd episode of season 6 and then started making videos, then yes, because she was born in the season 6 premiere.
No, she was conceived.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, then yes, it should. Yeah, okay. I just can't remember when things happen. My mind's at a loss. But like, so I made that video because of like, oh, it's quite clearly the elements of harmony that are preserving all of these characters. That's why Discord's not dead. That's why Luna's not dead. That's why Celestia's not dead. Why Luna and Celestia are still young, even though they're supposed to be growing old. So like, that was the premise of the theory. And then everyone complained about the Tale of the Twin Sisters book.
Oh, the journal?
Yeah, the journal.
There's also the fact that, well, I mean, besides the journal, there's also the fact that Selly was, she when she banished her sister to the moon, she pretty much became disconnected from the elements. So and she was, living for a lot longer before this,
Well, yeah. So and again, anyway, that was my theory, because there's nothing really measurable about how long she was alive prior, because they found the elements, I believe, a fairly young age. But regardless, that was the theory, and you put up the best argument without even using, because people would always use either the journal, I think it was like always a journal or like something else, and I didn't like using the journal because that's not to at the
It's outside source material.
yeah. So
Actually-
it's semi-canon was the thing.
Well, actually, I remember the showrunner saying. Well, I mean, I remember either the showrunner saying that it was canon, or the fact that it's canon because it's written by one. It was written by one of the show
Yeah, so
runners.
I know it was like at least semi-canon, so long as nothing was. The issue was with Flurry Heart, then there became a huge issue of interpretation because it contradicted the journal. So I always saw it as semi-canon, so I didn't use it for the theory because that's not, because if anything can prove it wrong, then it voids like the information. But anyway, that was one of my first creations in the fandom, and I still get complaints about it today. But thank you, Jack, for being the only person that used logic and reasoning when complaining about my theory.
Yeah.
Other than just saying journal two sisters.
Right. But one thing that pretty much sells it for me that Celestia and Luna were immortal regardless of elements or whatever is the fact that Celia was in her prime at the beginning of
When
like
she
with
fought Nightmare
Ponyville.
Moon for the first time and used elements, yeah.
Yeah, but it was also, also not only that, but I mean, like with Ponyville, she was there, she was there right, just before the apples came to settle, where Ponyville would be, and Granny Smith was young, and in the present, Granny Smith is old, and Sally is still,
Well, yeah,
in her
but in
prime.
that situation, because that was that before or did that event take place prior to the banishment of Nightmare Moon?
Yeah, that had to have, because Nightmare Moon was banished for 1,000 years, and Granny is not 1,000 years
Well,
old.
yeah, so
A
that
thousand
would be
moons,
after
a
that.
thousand moons, 1,000 years and 1,000 moons are different, sir.
No,
Yeah.
it was 1,000 years.
Yeah, they say 1,000
Hold
years
on.
because they say 1,000 years for like everything.
No, they say 1,000 moons, which a moon cycle is literally 30 days, so 1,000
No, it
moons.
was 1,000 years.
Well,
I've
no,
been
yeah.
binging the show again, and in the series premiere, Twilight is worried about Nightmare Moon's return because it said, on the longest night of the 1,000th year, she will return.
Yeah,
So it was 1,000 years.
So it was 1,000
Yeah,
years. Okay,
summer.
so then what? Yeah, so like you argued earlier, at that point, Celestia would have been disconnected from the elements of harmony, assumingly.
Yeah,
They-
well, not assumingly, definitely because when the elements don't have a
A host or something.
don't have a chosen bearer and therefore a connection, they're completely dormant, turned to stone. So
Is there something that factually states that? Because that seems more assumption than fact. It seems very, it seems correct. I just don't know if there's again. So this is where we go to interpretation because nothing clearly states the when the elements are technically active.
Well, I'm just going by I'm just going by visual.
So yeah, it's assumption,
what's
but it
presented.
sounds legit.
Well, I'm just going by both what's presented visually and also what was said by Selly in season two premiere. Her saying that she and Luna are disconnected. So combine that with the visual of the elements not having not having bearers and being turned to stone. Well, combine those two together and you get the elements are dormant and turned to stone as long as they don't have bearers and a connection.
All right. Well, yeah. So I think we'll leave it at that. As Patrick has just commented, we promised this stream was meant to be about what MLP means to you, not if alicorns live forever. Lol. So on that high note, I think we're going to press on. So backtracking.
And remove the soapbox from your head.
Yeah, so I think I just want to do some final thoughts. So with MLP, what it means to me specifically is just a fun, creative show that has pulled me out of my rut and into a more inclusive group than I ever thought I was going to be in. I never thought I was going to, like, realistically interact and be, you know, friends as well as in charge of a group with this many people and try to do semi-regular, try to pretend like I'm a good content creator on a regular basis. I never thought that I was going to be this involved in a community before. I thought when I started YouTube, I thought it was going to be a gaming channel and it was going to be awesome and I'd have my own fan base, and that didn't happen. And I'm glad that I'm doing MLP stuff more than, like, I still like the gaming and whatnot, but this is the community that I am happiest to be involved with, and I have achieved more than I thought I was going to in this community. I'm so incredibly thankful for the people I got to meet, and it has honestly been an unreal experience. I had so many friends that I would get a girlfriend through this show. Of all things, I got a girlfriend through the show and through the group, and that was phenomenal. I have amazing friends, and I feel like my life is coming a bit together. So overall, it's just been a crazy experience, and this show has left a bigger impact on me than probably any show or film I've ever watched. And then I'm going to remove the soapbox from my head.
Okay.
Remember the David Bowie album? That famous album, Light, goes for a prismarine to make a rainbow.
Make a rainbow.
Are you talking
laser.
about the Pink Floyd one?
Yeah, Pink Floyd's like
Pink Floyd?
That's
I
what
did
happens when
send-
laser and mirror make love. They make like light that goes into the
Oh
prism.
god, no, we're not gonna go there.
That just sounds like a really bad shipping thing.
Yeah, we're gonna take some. We're gonna back up. But yes,
Anyways,
alright. Blue, I
Laser,
take it.
I did send you the vector.
Yes, I see it. I'm gonna add it because this is what my life's turned into. Is just adding stupid things to the stream so people can stand on them.
Well, you had Patrick on a soapbox, you had Lefty on a toolbox, you had you with a big old soapbox on your head.
Yeah, and
Well, Lefty and Jack
I'm
haven't
getting a
even
little
said
breezy,
that.
hold that.
We still haven't. We still have no idea what MLP means for Lefty.
he's just gonna no, but that's part of his character though. Like I put the toolbox there, it's staying there. Like it'll be there when it's his turn, but he can't get out of it. It's part of his life now. Alright, so let me just add another image to this layer because my OBS doesn't already look like a disaster. And oh god, it's huge. Alright, we're just gonna shoot it. So Blue are
Sorry I made it so big.
No, Blue, are you
you-
ready to share then?
Yes, I am.
Alright. Patrick can just watch the first soapbox so that we don't lose track of it.
You can watch the second soapbox.
Alright, and then this needs to go back further.
I wonder what's in the soapbox. Is it? I don't
Obviously
know.
soap.
Yeah, but what sort of soap? Is there EastEnders in it? Is there?
It's lavender actually. It makes your feet
It's
smell
that
nice.
soap from Japan that they call the high school girl soap.
Oh god, no. Not the anime women's soap. That
Here
sounds
I'm coming
scary.
to sell you Patrick Roby bathwater.
Oh god, no.
Anyways.
Please no.
I should now share.
Yes, Blue, would you like to save us from Patrick Bathwater?
I'm going to save you guys from Robert's rambling.
Okay, please go ahead.
So for me, what MLP meant was just an escape away from reality. Because with me, when I was in 5th grade, I got bullied a lot. Getting names like R-Tard, F-Tard.
I don't know if we
And
need to go into great details. If you want to
So-
explain some but like, We don't want to.
Yeah,
we
but
don't want this to
this was-
turn into a stream of how Blue got roasted during school.
No, it was called getting bullied,
Yeah.
not roasted.
fair.
Anyways, my brother and his friend showed me MLP. I was like, it's pretty good. But then I started getting into it, which the first episode I ever watched was Look Before You Sleep.
Ah,
And contrary to what everyone says, it's not as bad as they make it out to be. I mean, yes, Twilight was a dum-dum.
Guys, everyone leave your hate comments in the live stream right now about how Blue's wrong.
But I mostly found it kind of good to see that there's two sides to every equation. We had Applejack, who was more of the homeschool girl, who would rather have like an actual fun pillow fight, or make s'mores on an open fire and just have a good old time. And then you had Rarity, who was like posh celebrity life.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually found that kind of interesting.
Mhm.
And then I watched more and more and more.
And then the addiction spread, and now he's a crippling
Yep.
addict and has pony figurines hanging from the ceiling.
And also, Roberry, green is only the second best color.
Oof. Shots fired.
Everyone else blue
Mhm.
is the best color.
Indeed.
Says popular demand, because I think blue is literally statistically the most popular color.
For example, look at Jolly Ranchers.
I like bright red.
Bright
But
red.
anyways,
I like a murky red, like the blood of my enemies.
Well, damn.
but anyways, the other thing is, MLP also was kind of what helped spark my creative drive.
Mhm.
Because I used to just only draw, like, really, really bad anime drawings.
Oh, dude,
Where
that's
the girls
that's
would literally be giraffe necks.
dude. I didn't have giraffe neck, but I had a huge issue of like everyone's face looked like it was hit by a door.
Mine, I would also always end up leaving out the nose and the eyebrows.
Yeah.
And their smile would go from cheek to cheek. So it looked horrible, but then when MLP came around, it actually kind of helped me to get a little bit better.
Yeah, it
Because
was
I learned
mixed.
proportion.
Yeah, MLP has a very. I actually got better at drawing ponies. I was better at
Mhm.
drawing ponies quicker than any other like media, like any other design. It was just a nice design, and it was simple. It was simple enough to practice and get into.
But I guess the last reason MLP is important to me and what it means to me, which, yes, this is going to sound like a rehash of what Rubber said, but without MLP, I never would have met all of you in the Rift City.
Yeah,
Because-
again, that's why I think this was going to be a reoccurring one, because it's
Yep,
the one thing
I
we
think
all
that's going
have
to be
in
everyone's
common.
generic phrase.
Yeah, we're gonna get a little counter in the corner going for every time we say the Rift City.
Yeah, so let me just put a little bing sound.
Ding.
Bing!
Oh
But
boy.
I would never have met you, Laser, with your silly antics and crazy, crazy hair.
Dude, my hair is a beast that needs to be slain.
Seriously, how much shampoo and conditioner do you use to get it clean?
I use, well, you see, I'm the first one to know when we're out of shampoo and conditioner. Because it's
Or then there was a
it's
whole
always my fault.
Or with Lefty's very big fascination with NASCAR, which honestly I kind of don't blame him because I actually did watch NASCAR a lot when I was little.
Haha.
Another follower of the motorsports, I see.
But the other part was, which stepping aside from their city for a moment,
Mhm.
with the whole MLP thing, it kind of actually allowed me to follow like what my butt mark says, staying true to myself and releasing my passion.
Mhm.
Because orb represents me, the little trail coming out of the orb represents my passion. So to sum up, MLP was an escape for me. First episode I ever saw was The Glory Sleep because my brother and his friend showed it to me. I never would have gotten to meet you guys in Rift City.
Ding. Oh gosh. Now that's some good
And
memory
then-
right there.
Yep. And to actually be able to release my inhibitions. And also technically to feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else.
Nice. Are we
I
gonna need?
had to include that meme song.
Yeah, are we gonna need to? Are we gonna get a nice note from YouTube saying we used music, copyrighted music?
But anyways, to finish off, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Uh, you know, that's what we should have said after Patrick was done. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I don't even get that meme.
You don't wait. You don't know what a TED Talk is?
No.
Okay, okay, guys, we need to
Yeah,
educate
I
Lefty
could
real
tell
quick.
about-
Allow me,
Yeah,
because
here,
I'm the one
quick
that I'm the
summary.
fittest school bag.
Yeah, quick summary of the
Let me get
TED
it real
Talk,
quick.
then we'll continue.
TED Commons LLC is an American media organization that posts talks online for free distribution under the slogan "Ideas Worth Spreading."
Is
And their
it-
influential videos from expert speakers on education, business, science, tech, and creativity, with subtitles in 100 plus languages.
Oh, I didn't know
Okay.
about the subtitles. Jesus. But yeah, it's an amazing. I don't watch. I'm not subscribed, but they make some really. They have some very fascinating speakers. One of my favorites was Ren from Corridor Digital, talking about VFX. That was amazing.
Sorry, when you said Ren, my immediate thought went to Ren from Ren and Stimpy.
Not that Ren. His name is literally though WREN Ren, and he's the VFX guy. So they have their own T-shirt called Rendering, because he does their VFX.
I hope people are reading the comics section.
No, I don't know anything about a comment section.
Rover is wrong because he spelled stuff wrong.
I've just been putting Lewis wrong. Stupid.
Oh boy. Anyway, so does that conclude? So yeah. Okay, so Blue has
Yep.
concluded his TED Talk. So that means I believe it's just Lefty.
Has Jack gone?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh, sorry, my mind's completely blocked.
And
My
also,
brain.
Starlight Glimmer is also here. She might want to.
Well, that's the wrong one. Let me. Okay, shoot. I kept thinking because I thought back and went, yeah, Jack talked because he was talking about gaming. I'm like, no, that was the intro, Lee. You're stupid. Okay, here. Let me find a way to get rid of this. There we go. Okay. So wait, then who wants to fight for the soapbox then? Jack or? Well, Lefty has a toolbox. So who's going first? Lefty or Jack then? You know, don't jump all at once here.
Yes, I could.
Alright then.
Okay, so
I'll see that, and then I'll
Put him
bring
in the
Lefty.
center. Put him in the center.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I
This
OBS
is
layers
about-
are.
All three of all of us for his soapbox.
There we go. And then I'm gonna move Jack over so he's not as close. There you go. You can be with Starlight. Perfect. Okay. You good to go,
so
Lefty?
this is about 5 years worth of stuff to sift through.
Okay, guys. Here I'm gonna open my bag of Pop Tarts then.
Let's see, I got into the show because I've said this so many times now to people in the void that I just sometimes feel it's common knowledge. I got into the show thanks to the Flim Flam Brothers song from Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000.
It was a good song.
Yeah, and I was in London at the time. I was in Roberry's country. And I was just surfing YouTube on my iPad, and I have no idea why. It was in my recommended. But I like, what
It
the
was
hell?
a sign from the
clicked on it.
heavens.
I clicked on it, fell in love with it. I was just so entertained by it and so entranced by it that I decided to try to check out episodes. So I went to a perfectly legal streaming site to watch episodes.
Totes legit.
I watched them out of order. I watched like Canterlot Wedding, and then found like the series premiere and started watching it. And then I was left telling this when we landed in Alaska and we're walking through the terminal to go to baggage claim. On my phone, I went to Amazon and ordered season 1 on DVD. Like the instant I got back to America. ordered it on DVD. But what MLP means to me, it really changed the way I look at things in a way, because for one, it reignited my love for writing, and I started writing fanfics again on fanfiction. And then, like, it was soon after I got into the show, and it was like in early 2015 when Jeff Gordon announced he was going to retire. And me, having been a fan of his for nearly 20 years at that point, um, I was devastated. So the show was there for me to cheer me up and make me not think about I'm never going to see him race again. And I'm glad that was there. And the show was also there for me when I went to college in 2015. It was a vocational school, so it was only a year, but still, I mean, being away from home and literally being on my own for a 9-month period, something I'd never done before. There were times it was stressful, I was scared, and I just turned on MLP, and it put a smile on my face. And I met so many amazing people through fanfic, some of which have left and all that, so that hurt. And then it was in late 2015, because I had caught a few YouTube videos about the show. I think the first analysis video I watched was Dr. Wolf's video about how old are the main six. And I thought, I've always wanted to, have a career talking about NASCAR. I wonder if I could try doing this to, like, kind of springboard that. So
like
in 2016,
get
I
practice,
started my channel.
Doing a talk show sort of thing.
Yeah. So I started my channel in March of 2016, and my original name was not Mr. Left Turn. It was actually Checkered Flag. And if you watch, like, my first 3 videos, that's what I refer to myself as. And then after that, I just decided I don't like this name, so I consulted a friend of mine on fan fiction. We came up with the idea for Mr. Left Turn.
And he was never turning right ever again.
That was the big turning point for me. That first year making videos, trying to keep up with the whole schedule. And then that's when I met Onyx, who invited me to join the Void. And that's where I met a whole plethora of friends now, like Onyx, Blackbird, Jack, Pat Rex, Wooden Sword, and that's really when I knew this is going to be something I'm going to remember forever, not just the show, but the people that made me enjoy the show outside of it, outside of actually watching episodes. And then things really took a turn when in 2017 I went to my first BronyCon. And that was the first time I'd ever traveled alone, the first time I'd ever been to a convention of any kind. And getting to meet, like, Sweetie Belle's voice actress, and just being surrounded by thousands of people who enjoy something I like is just a really special experience. It's kind of hard to explain. And so, then I went to BronyCon 2018, and I got to hang out with friends, and just that was really what made this whole thing feel so special, is meeting people you've talked to online and have formed a bond with, and just meeting them, being in the same room as them, talking to them. It really solidified how much what this show means to me, because it introduced me to so many people I care so much about, and just changed the way I look at media with my YouTube channel, and just changed the way I approach writing. But BronyCon 2019 despite how BronyCon handled certain things, Uh, just the way I got to meet people. Like I got to hang out with Onyx for the first time. I got to hang out with Midnight Chimes for the first time. Hang out with Jack for the first time.
Oh yeah,
And
that was
yeah, and it just meeting those people, talking to them, and just letting them know how much they mean to me. And it's really what this whole what friendship is magic means to me, and why I don't want to stop making pony content just because of how much the show has changed my life. Because before I got into the show, I mean, I really didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, I was just working, and that's it. I kind of felt empty. And now that I have this, it's like I feel like I have a purpose now. Even if I don't have a huge following, I'm still thankful for the friends that I have and the followers that I have. And even with the show ending, I can say the past 5 years of my life have been some of the happiest years of my entire life. And I'm just so thankful to know so many people that I care about and reciprocate that same feelings towards me. And even with, like I said, Jeff Gordon retiring and NASCAR just continuing to go downhill, I'm just so glad I have MLP to, turn around to look for source of joy and meaning. Even with something I grew up loving that's kind of turned its back on me, I can turn back to MLP and just feel at ease with it. And no matter what happens with Pony Life or what happens with G5, those cannot tarnish or take away those memories I have of the past 5 years.
All right.
I had one thing. You lot are really lucky to have your American convention. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Our convention.
That was. Damn, that was a great one though. That was very fascinating to listen to.
In 2017, and I got to meet Lauren Frost, and that's an amazing opportunity, and I'm never gonna.
Oh yeah, I mean, getting to meet Peter New at 2018, and he let me do my Big Mac voice, and he said he loved it. Getting to meet Bill Newton, who voiced Pharynx and Bright Mac, loved it. Meeting M.A. Larson both years, and mainly because the first year I met him was 2018, and I mainly wanted to tell him, with how many people are crapping on you because of fame and misfortune, I'll tell you, I'm one of the people who actually liked it, so your efforts didn't go to waste.
I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
I have to ask the question with Mr. Lefty. How drunk was M.A. Larson when you talked to him?
He wasn't.
Okay.
But then what was for BronyCon 2019, other than meeting Rebecca Choiquette, Sunset Shimmer, or Andrea Libman, meeting M.A. Larson again, I think has to be my favorite, just because I typed up a letter telling him, if it wasn't for your episode, I never would have met any of my friends. I never would have started the YouTube channel. I wouldn't be a fanfic author. So, I mean, letting him know how much his one creation, just one episode, changed my life. And that was just so special getting to tell him that.
That's crazy.
There's actually a very underrated thing MLP made that I don't think enough people actually talk about. They did this the making of MLP, and one thing that they described it was lightning in a bottle, and I think that's the perfect way to describe MLP. It's like the perfect amalgamation of people, writers, the best animators, the best musicians, the best voice actors, all in one place, making what was a generation breaker, was a decade changer.
Oh, this definitely helped shape a whole generation of the planet.
It's probably easily in the top 10 best things of this decade.
Yeah.
We're making top 10 things of the decade. Like, let's forget all the statistics of like the charities they've done. No, MLP. Which, now that I say that,
Well, to be
MLP
fair,
is actually
the conventions
donated.
have raised a
Yeah,
lot of money for charity.
yeah. Specifically, I think it was Dusky Cat has been a huge, like,
Oh,
like he's done a bunch of the charity, like run a bunch of charity auctions. So like, I make a joke about how there's like bigger things than MLP, but like even then, MLP has definitely had a massive impact on the world. Even
And
if even if the mainstream media refuses to highlight any of the good
Admit
parts.
Yeah, because
And
Yeah.
other than
Oh, sorry. I'll let you Lefty speak.
okay,
sorry.
it's just one final thing. Other than of course, talking to Mae Larson and all that, and meeting Rebecca Choiquette, Andrea Libman, and all those people. Like, I think my top memory of the past 5 years is, and I won't reveal exactly what we said, but it was the last day of BronyCon 2019, and thank God I had my sunglasses with me, because on my walk back to the hotel after closing ceremonies, I put my sunglasses on, I put my earbuds in, and listened to "We Belong" by Def Leppard, and I cried like a baby. I cried because
Hey, there's nothing wrong with crying.
I know it meant all of it meant so much to me. But then later that night, just eating dinner and just talking to Jack and Onyx and Blackbird and Quillstroke and her boyfriend Ebek and Bright Idea and her boyfriend Robbie.
If only I was a fly in the
We
wall.
felt to me that moment where we were all just, and Bright Idea called it a Breakfast Club moment. We were all just spilling out our feelings to each other. It just legitimately felt like we had become a family, and that feeling hasn't gone away.
Aw, that is very
Aw.
That's great. In all honesty, and like that's such a wonderful moment and experience to have. Is just out of the blue, you go to a convention about a little girl show, and then you have like one of the most meaningful conversations with other humans in your life, and it's all because of some pony show.
I know, it always fascinates just thinking of like just one thing has brought together millions of people from millions of different walks of life, and we all have one thing in common, and that's just mind-blowing.
I mean, I love that speech, Lefty. That is an
Yeah, that
amazing
was
speech.
fantastic.
I mean, I mean, I bet you guys have your own little. Do you like go to meetups where you see other bronies like locally?
There
So I
are
went to the
none
Western
around
Union.
there are none around me.
A
So
lot.
getting on Discord is like the only brony meetups I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like an online brony and all that, and it's so lovely to be able to just go, hey, we know every time I talk to anyone in the Rift City, it feels like I've talked to them, I've known them for years, when in reality I've only known them for months. So
And I
it's
think
really-
you mentioned that, and actually that brings up something I want to say with NLP, being that it's such an it's for such a long time and still sort of is, it's an oddity. It's a bit of a it's not mainstream. It's not something that's quite in the norm yet, even despite its massive popularity. Whenever I talk to someone who I know is a brony, I always feel more comfortable talking to them than with another person, because I already know that they're more accepting of weird niche groups. So when I say I like a pony show, they're like, yeah, that's like, and even if they don't fully like it, but at least know about it and respect the people that do like it, like I automatically feel I automatically enjoy talking with them more because I feel more open about what I can say.
Yeah. I don't want to say any more because I want to let Jax him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jack
Yeah,
has
I kinda need
been
to
waiting to step on the
need to go
soapbox. I
through
know.
anyway, you know.
See here. Let me-
Anyway, so for me, my my what MLP means to me, it's well, it's a it's a good fun show that that like any like any good fun show brings people together under so, under a fandom and stuff. I mean, you don't necessarily have to be considered really part of the fandom, but hey, you find people that like the same thing you do. It's it's great. It's a great show because of that brings people together. What the way I got into it was basically one of my friends. He 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 dared me to watch an episode and said that I could not turn it off, and he said that it was a test of whether or not I was comfortable in with my masculinity to watch something.
That is a very
Girly.
interesting way to get into MLP. Starting with a
Yeah,
dare.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, when I first saw it, I cringed at a couple of things, but overall, the episode, which was "May the Best Pet Win,"
hmm
yeah, that was the first episode I watched. Yeah, I cringed at a couple of parts when I first saw it, but overall, I liked it. And at the time, before I really got to know Rainbow Dash's character, I thought she was kind of cute.
hmm
Aw.
And then along comes Twilight.
Yeah. Then along comes Twilight, and I think forget Rainbow Dash, Twi's the cutest.
Oh boy, that's honestly the most interesting way I heard anyone get involved. Learn about everyone else here. Like Lefty found it on his own, but everyone else, was dragged in by a friend.
Oh, I haven't said my story.
Or relative.
Not PG.
Okay, that sounds maybe not.
Yeah,
Patrick opened up a void to a dark dimension in the internet and found MLP miraculously.
That's not even that. You're not fat.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Without a ladybug.
yeah. To save the audience of this trauma, Jack, please continue.
Yeah. Another thing is that because I got so into the show, and this was before because I got into MLP before I got super into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, that's
which
interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah. So I MLP with some of its with its usage of mythology and making some pretty interesting concepts and actually some of their concepts have kind of been used, like the whole elements of harmony thing. It's not only similar to the Infinity Stones or the Chaos Emeralds. It's also the fact that they represent virtues and stuff kind of reminds me of the Lantern Core rings.
Huh.
But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that a mixture of those things.
hmm
Um,
Or
but
what is
yeah,
it?
the
The
way
seven heavenly virtues? Isn't that another thing?
Yes, actually, that's another major thing that drew me to it. The fact that most of the elements match, well, not necessarily the seven heavenly virtues, but but most of the fruits. Darn it.
You good?
Yeah, most of the fruits of the spirit
Okay.
from the yeah most of like laughter can be joy. Of course there's generosity, and then kindness is exactly what it is in the
Wow.
Bible.
Does this sound like an amazing MLP theory that you could totally do?
An MLP what?
An MLP theory that the elements are secretly like
I
the
believe in
fruits
the
of
Church of Celestia.
in the Church of
All
Celestia.
Ray Celestia.
Sorry,
Um,
I praise Beth Princess, which is Luna.
Oof.
I don't know. I honestly, I mean, currently in the Void, we're doing this. We're doing this sort of RP adventure thing,
Okay.
and one thing that's going to be introduced as like an extension to the element or fruits of the spirit. That's like
Okay.
an extension. So
Mhm.
we're kind. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to do to do a fanfic where where it ties in
Well, yeah, it
somehow.
ties in with it. Yeah, because from what you've explained, yeah, they sound like they're very like the ideas behind them seem very closely related.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that was at least one part of the
Yeah,
inspiration.
some of the inspiration was from that. Yeah, that's really fascinating.
Yeah. But on the subject of fan fiction, yeah, it's actually the series that kind of really uh springboarded my interest in writing and kind of got me some practice in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it like I mean I haven't actually finished any, but I'm still trying. And
But you're working
um
on it, and the show's
yeah, and
inspired you to be more creative and write more. So now you have all these, ongoing projects.
right. And what and it's also good practice for the career path I want to go into, because
Mm-hmm.
with video games they all have lots of stories and
Well,
stuff.
yeah, every
It's pretty
game
much
has
like
some form of lore. How much the lore involves with the story? Because if it's a story-based game, then obviously all of the lore is very important. But if it's just like simpler games, then it's not as big.
well,
But yes, every game has some form of storytelling and story lore that goes with it.
yeah, it's given me it's given me a little bit of experience in writing dialogue, writing
Mm-hmm.
a sequence of events, planning out beginning, middle, and end of both scenes and the story overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, I thank MLP for giving me some experience before I even really started on my the whole video game college stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, but I mean, even one of the more bigger things I thank MLP for is, well, meeting, like everyone else said, meeting all you guys, because uh, it's kind of hard for me to make friends, not necessarily because like I don't know, it's impossible. It's just that I don't know, interacting with people over the internet, was has always been easier for me. I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of lazy
Yeah.
when it comes to real life friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't, but yeah, interacting with people over the internet is always
Yeah,
easier
and
than
I feel
actually
like it's also just
going
a
somewhere.
convenience because it's so much less difficult to commit someone to stay at home on their device than to go out and do something. And you can be what I liked about with meeting people on the internet, it's not even an issue of like because I can go out and like have a good time with some random people, or just have some nice moments with other outside people. But online, it's so much easier to find the group that you want to hang out with. When you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I
especially
want to be people, I want to be with people that like MLP. You just go to the forum, and then there's thousands of people that you already have one massive thing in common.
right, and that,
Mhm.
and I thank MLP for being one of the most prominent things to get into in order to meet friends online.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and one thing that I realized, despite what people have said, it's okay
Whoa.
for someone to like something outside of outside of their demographic.
Hmm.
You know, it's okay to like that. That doesn't make you this or that. That just means that one of your likes is that.
Hmm.
Like I my parents, I mean, not to go ver
Throw shade,
to
at them or whatnot.
well, yeah, also not to go to, I don't know,
In.
dark or serious or whatever, but
Hmm.
yeah, my parents for a little bit, they thought that, and I'm not trying to throw shade at you for this or either, but I don't know. They thought that for a moment they thought I was gay,
Yeah, I
and
thought that was going. He's just like, you know what, it, and I don't want to downplay this, but to me, when like now, because I'm so much more like chill with people saying funny things like that or just weird things like so, coming from your parents, I think is probably like it's way more different because when I hear that, because like that's like an OG brony stereotype is when people
yeah,
think you're gay because you like a pony show, and then it once people take time to listen and whatnot and they learn a bit more about it, then that sort of helps break the stereotype. So like I'm sorry that your parents had an issue with that because like looking in hindsight, to me it's kind of amusing because it's kind it's a meme and it's like no one really takes that
yeah,
kind of comment seriously anymore. But
And
like coming
it
from
could
your
have been,
yeah.
it could
parents
have been
must have
much
been
worse because there
very
are parts of
uh
America where it's
Yeah,
not very unkosher to be gay, where it could be.
I wasn't saying that. I was just
mm,
saying that they were thinking something of me that just wasn't
wasn't you.
that just, yeah, that just wasn't
Mm,
true. They were assuming stuff. I didn't like that. They eventually stopped, and
mm,
they realized that this is just a like, I
mm.
still
It's just something that you're interested in. It doesn't mean that you're like you're not this whole new person. You're still you. You just like ponies too.
well, yeah, but I mean, also, it doesn't, just because I like this show, that doesn't mean I swing
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
swing
define you. Just because you like this show doesn't define, your whole character, who you are.
yeah, it doesn't define a major thing, because liking a show is pretty minor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I learned that it was okay to like something outside of your demographic, and
Mm-hmm.
despite me being, funny thing, it was later in life when I discovered that a lot of boys at, like, another show that I had always thought was for girls, because my parents and some other kids my age said it was, only for girls,
Mm-hmm.
was Powerpuff Girls. Like when I was a kid, I always thought that it was for girls, and I would be socially doomed if
Yeah,
anyone
as
if
many like
if
middle
if
schoolers
I
would
showed,
think.
yeah, if I showed any similar if I showed any interest at all in Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, turns out that Powerpuff Girls was actually very popular among both
Yeah,
boys
yeah,
and
it was like a
boys and
family
girls.
show.
Yeah, yeah, it was. So I was like pretty mad at everyone that kind of tried to convince me that I should be either I should be embarrassed if I show any interest.
Yeah, and with you bringing that up, that just sort of reminds me. They're like people always, like some really messed up things happen when you get bullied in high school, but so many people overlook the fact that like most insecurities from what I can gather come from middle schoolers trying to fit in. Just like if you could like look, I feel like if everyone could go back in time to talk to themselves, they'd always talk to middle school them and say stop trying to be cool, just be happy.
And I also think it also comes from misunderstanding. I think
Yeah.
one thing the MLP fandom has done great is understanding really hard to explain things like transgender, being gay, just being who you are. Because
Or as Jack was saying, just liking a show that just because it seems feminine doesn't mean it's just for girls.
Yeah. It just because you like one one pretty feminine thing, that doesn't make you, I don't know,
Yeah, it
some
doesn't add you into some other group that's, it doesn't, just because you like something that's feminine doesn't mean that, it doesn't rewrite you as a person. It doesn't mean you've had this dramatic change in your life and you now have this whole new like whole new feelings and perspective.
well, I just blame schools because schools don't teach. They only teach you about man and a woman. They don't teach you. They don't teach you how.
Actually, my high
So
school,
they're
my
so
high school was
outdated.
different. My high school is different. They actually talked about in general, which is why I was pissed because I was sick like 2 of the days that we had an actual good instructor.
But I think more schools should actually teach just every kind of relationship that exists, and just
Wha- right. Well, besides all that, I'm I learned, like I said, I learned that you should be free to as far as minor stuff like cartoons, video games, certain movies, that stuff, you should be free to like those things without being
Ridiculed.
without being
Ridiculed or
ridiculed
judged differently.
assumed stuff about you, like you like liking a feminine thing automatically makes
You a feminine person.
You know, it should help people become less judgy of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what MLP means to me.
All right. Thank you for sharing. That was. Ooh, sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
Excuse.
It means all those things. It sparked my creativity, allowed me to allow me to make new friends even easier, and showed me that it's okay to like something outside of your demographic.
Before we end, Laser, can I ask one question to everyone?
Sure. Why not?
What is the most important lesson you've learned from MLP? Because this show's all about learning lessons. What has been the most important one?
So like from the show.
Yeah, from the show or from the fandom.
Huh. Gotta think about this one. You gave me a brain teaser right here, right at the end.
Well, for me, one of them would have to be the whole like message of the song "Best Friends Until the End of Time." Because, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But to me, I don't know. I don't really have a most important lesson. I don't know, besides that one maybe.
Yeah.
To me, it was pretty much any lesson that I had forgot as far as social stuff, because one thing I've noticed is that some of the lessons in MLP some adults really need to see some of those episodes.
Yeah,
So
humanity could use a bit more education.
yeah, well, remedial, pretty much.
Yeah.
Remediation.
Pop quiz,
Remedial.
watch this episode and tell me what was important about it.
Yeah, but I mean, basically stuff to remind them of, you know, some social stuff, because, like I said, some adults really, you know, kind of have forgotten some social stuff. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'd say whichever lessons I had forgotten, you know, that were brought up in the show, those were the most important to me.
All right. I think for
I didn't
me,
learn anything. I do it all along.
it's oh boy.
We get it, Applejack.
Oh god.
Yeah, actually,
M.A. Larson
it-
actually wrote
that's
that
my-
when he autographed my season 2 and season 5 DVD.
Nice. That's awesome.
Actually, to answer my own question, I'm gonna actually go for a season 1 episode of the Pinkie Pie's the episode 10, which is Swarm of the Century, which is learning about understanding is not just a one-way street; it's a two-way street. Of
Mhm.
sometimes people may look silly or they may look foolish, but they may actually be much smarter than you may even realize. And but also understanding also how, but you have to help others understand you by explaining things sometimes. And I really understand that even though I'm a foolish person, I'm very silly. It doesn't take it does. It's a two-way street of explaining and understanding.
Your silliness doesn't detract. It doesn't detract from your intelligence. You're just not well representing it because you're being silly.
Exactly. But
That's
I
a-
didn't learn anything. I did it all.
Oh boy, that's honestly a really great way to look at that. And I think for me, one of the lessons that I've learned is just the fact that trying to focus more on yourself and what you enjoy, and just, you know, focus more on trying to be happy rather than just trying to always be
Fit in.
right, or just trying to fit in. Don't let people tell you what's okay and not okay. Figure it out for yourself. Now sometimes when they tell you don't touch the electric fence, you should listen, but like, you know, it's not always the case. And you shouldn't try to always be right, because in the path of trying to always be right, you're losing people's attention while you're trying to do it. So yes, you can be right, but it's at what expense? So focus on your own happiness, and you don't always have to be right, and you don't always have to like push people to prove that you're right. Just like take it easy, relax,
and on
and just enjoy yourself. And don't make everything this like horrific, oh, I need to fit in, or ooh, I need to prove this thing wrong.
And one thing I actually want to add to that is, one thing I also learned is, it's okay to make mistakes. We love all these characters because they're human, and we relate to them because they make mistakes, they fuck up, they screw up, and they learn from it. Those screw ups make them who they are.
And they don't always
that's
learn
what
the
we
first
did.
time. There's Fluttershy,
Yeah.
who's consistently growing, and that's also human, because no one just flips a switch and you're 100% better person.
Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes, and you shouldn't be scared to do it or ashamed that you make a mistake. You should just understand and
Own up
try
to it
learn.
and try better. Just make an attempt.
For
If only certain people would learn that.
Yeah, Laserhawk. If only certain people would learn that, Laserhawk. And then, Lefty, you wanted to add on?
yeah, just a two-part thing. For me, honestly, the biggest thing I've learned about myself because of MLP, and this is why Applejack is my favorite character, is I've learned how to be more honest with myself, and I've learned that I value honesty in my friends and family more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
the biggest lesson I've learned actually comes from my favorite episode of Brotherhood Social. And I, just like with the last day of BronyCon, I at the end of that episode.
Mm-hmm.
But the lesson I took away the most was with Big Mac is like, if something's on your mind or something's hurting you, don't be afraid to open up, especially to someone you trust, whether it be a family member, and because he learned in that episode, because he's not telling Apple Bloom that he feels like life now because she looks up to AJ more. It was hurting him. He was losing that bond he had, and it scared him, but he didn't want to talk about it, and he only kept hurting himself because.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that was my favorite lesson, just because now I know, speak up if I'm feeling down, or if someone is unintentionally doing something that hurts me.
All right. I actually like that one a lot. Applying it to your your real life, and that was to me probably one of the hardest episodes to watch because there was a lot of like cringy humor with Big Mac, but the ending was probably one of the most emotional scenes because we don't get to see, or especially at the time we didn't get to see Big Mac talk a lot, to hear him sort of like have one time where he just sort of spills his guts about everything that's upsetting him. It's it's really emotional because it's just this one time, this person who has always just sort of been like a background side character to just push everyone up is finally sort of crumbling, and we get to see
Mac's the kind of
more of
character-
him.
Big Mac's the kind of character who doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it's important, and
Yeah.
it's gonna
He
sting.
speaks when he needs
Yeah.
to.
The people who speak the loudest and the longest are the people who speak the less. Sometimes are the smartest.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm pretty dumb then, eh?
I was talking more about myself.
Two could play that game.
How about you both stop self-deprecating yourselves and learn to take happiness?
Hey.
I don't know. That sounds like a whole lot of effort. So
I'm British. That's just a crime.
oof. All right. Shoot. Let's see.
Actually, guys,
Jack
if you have any messages, anyone watching this, any messages you want to put your message as hashtag what MLP means to, and we would love to we will tweet any ones that we think are worth tweeting.
Well, I think that's
And
pretty
then-
much going to be anyone, so long as you don't say anything, horrific.
Yeah, so
Just don't
Right.
say how MLP taught you to abuse your friends and then use them as Gatling guns when fighting a changeling invasion.
MLP taught me how Islam is an okay thing.
Wait, what?
How what is a what okay thing? What?
You heard nothing.
I'm so confused. I need to go back and rewatch the stream. I'm already
We
concerned.
brought in religion to the topic.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
calm
I
down
kinda-
a second.
I kind of need to go soon, so.
Oh yeah, sure thing. I think we're closing out anyway, so yeah. Thank you all
Yeah.
for watching. We really appreciate those that stuck around. And thank you all for joining us.
Sorry,
It was
Mike.
very fascinating to listen to you guys talk about how you got into MLP and what you found interesting about it.
Yeah.
Shall I do my ending thing that I usually do?
Sure, why not?
Thank you all for watching this following live stream. If you enjoyed the content that you saw, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button, and don't forget that notification bell to get a ping. If honestly it'll even work, because for some reason YouTube's not fixed that issue yet.
Oof.
To get a ping every time we upload a new video or go live. You can also follow us on our Twitter page at The Rift City, and follow our DeviantArt group, also at The Rift City.
Alright then. I guess we'll all just say bye really long until the stream ends. So bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Arrivederci.
I will
Sayonara.
tell you humans.
Zaijian.
Can I be a
Au
whore?
revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.